Hi guys, today we're going to be doing lamb loin chops with chimichurri sauce. Kind of similar to the lamb loin chops that I usually do, but obviously a different flavor, but the process is more or less the same. I am going to use about almost 3 pounds of the lamb loin chops. There are 10 pieces. This is what they look like. I get these from Costco and they come in a 10 pack. I've already defrosted them, and what we're going to do is we're going to put our Instant Pot on saute and wait till that's hot. Meanwhile, you get that hot, you can sprinkle the lamb chops with salt and pepper to season them really well. I think on the recipe card, it's 1 teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of pepper, but you can eyeball that depending if you want it salty or more peppery. It's obviously totally up to you guys. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. I'm going to be working in 2 batches. 5 and 5. So while that is actually when we are browning our lamb chops, I'm gonna show you how to quickly make the chimichurri sauce. So let's wait till this Instant Pot is hot. I'm gonna go ahead and put some olive oil in there, and have the olive oil handy because you'll want to refill it every now and then when you see that it starts to dry up. You are going to deglaze your pot with some white wine or red wine. I like to prefer red wine specifically for the lamb chops because I think it gives it better flavor. So have that handy as well as some onions and garlic. All right, my Instant Pot is hot. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting in my first batch of lamb loin chops that are already seasoned with salt and pepper. You're gonna brown each side for 2 to 3 minutes until they get browned. And then you flip it over and do the same. After you're done, take those out and put in the second batch. So while those are browning, I'm gonna teach you guys how to do the chimichurri mix. Now, there's several types of chimichurri mixes, and literally, I always just use these main ingredients and then add to it. I use fresh parsley, garlic, salt, pepper, lemon juice, and olive oil. If I have more stuff or if I don't have something, but those are the key main ingredients of a chimichurri. For this one, I did add oregano and cumin just to give it a little more of a kick. To tell you the exact stuff that I use on this specific one. And what I did is I just placed it all in the food processor. Can I help you? I placed it all in the food processor. And what I did was half an onion. And I didn't cut it, I didn't chop it, I just cut it in slices so it's easier to mix through. I did 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, 1 tablespoon of vinegar, 2 tablespoons of lemon juice, 1 tablespoon of oregano, half a teaspoon of cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and half a cup of olive oil. Now, if you tend to like lemon juice more, you could add more lemon, or vice versa. Less vinegar, less vinegar. At the very end, once it's already processed, you can pretty much tell where you're flavoring as far as preference is going to be. So I got all that in here. Just mix it, and don't keep the blender in. Just go like that until you find the right consistency. To begin with, chimichurri is super grainy, so if you like more of a liquidy, you can add more olive oil or vinegar. Totally depends on you. Once your chimichurri is always mixed, the best way to taste it is a dip into some type of bread or anything. That's what I like to do, because I'm not just going to make a spoonful of chimichurri sauce. So I just do a little dip. I already know just tasting it, and need more parsley, so I'm going to add parsley to that. But it's all depending on your preference. So I'm going to add more parsley, and then I'm going to put that to the side because that's going to be the topping for my my loin chops at the very end. All right, now that we finished browning, I'm going to go ahead and add my 1/4 cup of red wine. It could be white wine, but preferably for a lamb, red wine is the best. So I'm going to go ahead, add that to the pot, and deglaze it. Make sure you don't have any brown spots on the bottom of the pot. Scrape them off if you do. The deglazing process should make it easier to remove the little burn spots at the bottom. So once you deglaze your pot, you're gonna go ahead and start to see that the wine start to simmer. You're gonna go ahead and add a whole onion, chopped into big thick pieces, it doesn't really matter, as well as the minced garlic. And I'm using 2 tablespoons because I have a lot of volume, but you guys can use whatever if you're a garlic person, which I am, I always go a little overboard on the garlic because I love the taste of garlic. So you're gonna give that a good mix and let it cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. It doesn't really need to cook because it'll cook on its own, and all that aroma from the garlic and the onions will mix in with the actual lamb once we start the cooking process. So I'm gonna let that sit there for a second. All right, now that your onions and your red wine and your garlic have been sitting in there for quite some time, just doing its little cooking, a little bit of action, not too much. We just want to obviously smell that aroma, the garlic and everything mixture. Kind of like a sofrito, but not Cuban. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my lamb loin chops that are already browned on their sides back into the pot. And obviously they're not gonna fit all together, so you can definitely stack them, and don't worry because we are going to add liquid to this, so it doesn't give us the burned on the LCD. So I got all my lamb chops in there. I'm going to add 1 1/4 cup of beef stock, and obviously this is chicken stock. I thought I had beef stock available, but I don't, but I'm gonna use chicken stock. It's no big deal. The flavor will it'll be a little bit different, but it'll be pretty much the same. So, all right, so I added 1.5 cups because I have more, but if it's 10 pieces, I just realized that I have 12 pieces, but they're smaller. So what I want to look at is that most of the meat is submerged. You still have some meat that's still sitting on top, but there's plenty of liquid there. And as it cooks, more liquid is going to be released. So I'm gonna go ahead and press cancel on my Instant Pot. That will turn everything off. And I'm gonna put them on for a well done 8 minutes. If you like a medium lamb, you put it on for high pressure 5 minutes. So I'm gonna close this bad boy. Make sure you put your vent to seal so that it can get up, so it can build pressure. You're gonna do high pressure 8 minutes for well done, 5 minutes for medium. And once that beeps, you're gonna let it sit for 15 minutes. So you're gonna give it a natural release of 15 minutes. Normally, after it's been sitting for 15 minutes, all the air has already been let go on its own. But just in case, always open up your vent before you open. So I'm gonna let this sit, and I'll get back to you once everything is done, and we'll give it a good taste test, and hopefully I can get a good picture of it and post it with the recipe card. All right guys, my lamb chops have already been sitting out for 20 minutes. I went ahead and I let out the air. There wasn't any because obviously it was sitting for 15. Gonna open up this baby. It is in its juices, and since we're not eating till dinner time, I'm gonna actually leave it in there, but I actually do, oh man, this smells amazing. I do wanna give it a taste. What I like to do is I like to keep the onions because they are so tasty. I will place the lamb chops on top of the rice or on the side, put some onions on top of the rice to give that the taste of la salsita on top of the rice, as well as throwing the chimichurri on top. But for now, I'm going to taste it myself with a little side of chimichurri to make sure that it is good. As far as salt, it should be, because I never had an issue with lamb itself. So you know what to do. If you have any questions, go ahead and DM me, and if you try out the recipe, please let me know. Tag it, post it, whatever you feel like, and make sure you tag Insanely Instant. All right guys, thanks so much.